All right, so let's simplify. We have a rational expression where we have a binomial divided by a binomial, and we want to divide out, or our goal is to simplify this fraction by factoring. Okay, so we want factors. Right now we have two terms in the numerator, two terms in the denominator. So the way that we're going to simplify is by factoring. So let's go back over the rules again for simplifying a rational expression. Factor the numerator completely. Factor the denominator completely. And then we're going to cancel all pairs of factors common to the numerator and denominator. So we are not to just start crossing out at the beginning. Let's factor. So look at the numerator. Let's start the factoring process. Is there a GCF that can be factored out? If so, what? We can factor out a 5. So we're saying 5 times. And then what's left over? We have y minus 3. And then for that binomial of y minus 3, there's nothing that we can do there. So we're going to go ahead and factor the denominator. Is there a GCF that can be factored out? If so, what? We can factor out an 8 and then tell me what is left over. So you're saying 8 times, and what's left over? Y minus 3. Now remember, the rule says after, or the instructions say after we factor the numerator completely, we factor the denominator completely, then we're going to cancel. Do you see any factors that are common to the numerator and denominator that we can cancel out? Yes, the y minus 3. And once we cancel, let's go ahead and write what we have that's remaining. In our numerator, we have a 5. In our denominator, we have an 8. So that is simplifying a rational expression. Next example, number 2. We have here x squared plus 3x minus 28 all over x minus 4. We have a trinomial divided by a binomial. So to simplify this rational expression, we're going to factor. Factor, factor, factor. That's going to be so key for you to be successful in this particular area, is that in order for us to simplify, we factor. So we look at the numerator. We have a trinomial. So let's go back over our rules. We're going to set up our template. Look at the sign of the last term. We have a negative sign. Therefore, we're going to have opposite signs. Break down the first term. We have x and x. And then let's look at let's find the factors of the last term. So for the numerator, we're looking for factors of negative 28, that when we add those factors, it will give us 3, positive 3. And keep in mind, we have different signs. So the factors for 28 that will add to give us 3, we're going to use 7 and 4. So we want a positive 3, so the 7 has to be positive, and then the 4 has to be negative. And then we're going to plug those numbers in to the appropriate symbols. So 7 to the positive sign, 4 to the minus sign. And we're finished with the numerator. Now let's look at the denominator, x minus 4. There's nothing that we can do there. So we just write it as a binomial. And then at this moment, let's cancel. What cancels out here? The x minus 4's, and then what's left over as for our answer would be x plus 7. That is our solution.